As India braces for a long, hot battle against the coronavirus, reality check hits the road. So we are in the cremation ground in Ahmedabad, Budeshwar. We are in the business heartland of Surat. So we are at Nair Hospital in Mumbai, which is the main hospital fully dedicated to COVID. You're watching Reality Check. We are live from Mumbai, where the virus is surging. Almost 16,000 cases. But if you look at the streets of Mumbai, like the street where we are, the camera was to just zoom in, then you wouldn't really know it. But the fact is that Mumbai is the epicenter of the virus, and the pressure is being felt most closely at its hospitals. To put it bluntly, Mumbai's hospitals are overwhelmed. Almost all 3,500 COVID beds are full. All 250 COVID ICU beds in government hospitals are full. So now, the government is somewhat controversially deciding to reduce social distancing in COVID wards and put more beds in closer proximity to increase the number of beds. That's going to push up the beds by about 1,500 in just 24 hours, government hospital administrators claim. But that is problematic because that puts a greater load, a greater viral load on health workers. But then, in some scenarios like this, some would ask, what is the option, given, as we said, the load is so great? But just imagine that even without that, how cramped Mumbai's COVID wards already are. What we're about to play you is a video from Nair Hospital, which is Mumbai's biggest dedicated COVID hospital. It's a municipality, Mumbai municipality run hospital. So if we go with that video, and as you can see, it's been filmed for us by doctors within Nair Hospital, and it's the camera is taking you through a COVID ward, and you can see already how close the beds are together. And imagine trying to push more beds into a scenario like that, and what that is going to mean for frontline health workers. Well, I had a chance to spend the morning with these frontline warriors at Nair Hospital, and we had some very candid conversations about what it's like to be at the front line of this battle against COVID. Let's listen. आप सब थोड़ा सा इधर आ जाए. So as the coronavirus surges in Mumbai, we are at the epicenter of the front line of the battle against COVID, which are of course Mumbai's hospitals. And right now we are in Nair Hospital, which is in a sense the main hospital fighting COVID in Mumbai. It's, correct me if I'm right, sir, it's dedicated.
It's very correct. It's a dedicated COVID hospital.
Tell me now, because the cases in Mumbai are surging. Hospital after hospital is under pressure. How are you coping? Give us a sense of the numbers at the moment. How many beds do you have?
We have right now roughly about 650 beds which are active.
Are all full?
We plan to nearer full.
We
plan to start roughly about 350 more.
Okay.
So we will reach the figure of roughly about 1,000 bed or so.
Okay.
Out of which about 110 beds are reserved for COVID maternity and about 100 beds are for patients of dialysis.
Okay. So as you are increasing beds, is it also because we were just being told that because in a sense we've reached capacity now in almost all hospitals in Mumbai, is there much more pressure in a sense of admitting patients and finding space for them?
Yeah, there is always a pressure. This pressure is for something which is for saving life.
Yes.
So we don't call this pressure as unnecessary pressure. Everybody feels that the poor and the critically ill patient needs to come out from the disease, and therefore the free hospitals and especially the medical colleges where the senior teachers, professors are there.
Yes.
And it's a trust. I take it not as a pressure, but it's a trust which is offered to us by the politicians, by the administration, by the commissioner, etc.
That's how you pull it
so
together.
I take it as a positive pressure, and it's not something which is, it is for saving life.
No, no, of course. That's the most important thing.
Yes.
Is one way of increasing beds, I was told this morning, is also to try to reduce the space between beds so you can accommodate more beds as well?
Whatever beds we have, ideal spacing between the two beds is supposed to be 8 feet.
Okay.
But we don't have that luxury of
Right.
having 8 feet bed distance, or the 8 feet distance between the two cots. Anytime in the life in Mumbai city, we are crumpled and we are cramped.
Yes.
With the number of beds.
Yes.
Now the concern is not there when everybody is COVID positive. The concern of so-called as a great distance
Yes.
is not required. What we need to have is treat the patient on a bed, may not be luxuriously,
Right.
but with due care,
At
diligence.
least we'll have a bed.
Yeah, and bed. That is important.
Families themselves of the patients. And also, one thing that we've come across, because I've been traveling, we've traveled all the way from Delhi, we've been to Gujarat and we've come here, is that even when those who lose their lives, there's some amount of stigma. Families are often not even claiming bodies
Yes,
of
it
the
does
dead.
happen.
Is that happening here as well?
I will tell you a very, very touchy story.
Okay.
A lady who was very rich delivered a child
Okay.
in the morning
Right.
in a very so-called as elite, posh and corporate hospital in Bandra.
Right.
And then she was declared COVID positive.
Okay.
The husband disowned her. The family disowned her. The hospital disowned her.
Good
And
God.
she was pushed in an ambulance. A very rich lady, elite class lady with a 1-day-old child.
Oh my
God,
God.
and was pushed and was transferred to a COVID hospital.
Right.
She went to 5 to 6 hospitals, and ultimately the ambulance person dropped her near the Nair gate, and we had to admit her.
No one
so
took
these
her?
are the touchy stories. No
No-
one took
no
her.
one
No
else
one
took
took
her.
her
You
because
took
she
her
was
in?
COVID positive, and we were COVID hospital. So we had to take her, and we took pride in taking her. That
She's-
is what happens.
She's still here or is she?
She has been discharged very happily now. After she became COVID negative, everybody accepted her. The child was very cured and the child was COVID negative.
So we are at Nair Hospital in Mumbai, which is the main hospital fully dedicated to COVID. And with us are the frontline warriors who are fighting this battle on a daily basis. If you could just quickly tell us your names and what you do.
I'm Dr. Surbhi Rathi. I'm professor of pediatrics. I've been working with the core team ever since we were declared, even before maybe, as COVID dedicated hospital.
Okay, you're with pediatrics, but you've also been roped in
Yes, right
because
now
it's
I'm
all
right-
hands on deck.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Dr. Sarika Patil. I'm a senior administrator and the nodal officer for the COVID-19 Nair Hospital.
I'm Dr. Alka Subramaniam, Associate Professor in Psychiatry, and I have also been working with the core team even before we were declared COVID only.
I'm Dr. Girish Rajadhyaksha. I'm professor and in charge of medicine department.
Okay. Tell me, you've all been doctors for quite some time. Some of you are seasoned veterans. Have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
Not really. Not really. It is quite overwhelming and has swept us off our feet. But frankly, we've been managing it very well, and we really don't fear anything. Let what may happen come. Our endeavors are to save the patients, create more beds, create oxygen beds. So it has been overwhelming, but all the same.
So the big challenge is just to get beds. That's the big pressure.
Yeah, this is a pressure, but I would take this like a God-given opportunity. I would like to tell that we were about to celebrate 100 years of Nair Hospital. We are stepping in our 100th year. In September 2020, our 100th year of this hospital was beginning. So this is one opportunity that is given. What more we could have asked for? What better way?
That you're
better
right,
service,
you're
yeah,
right there in the
now
front.
In the
Service
commencement
to
of this
humanity
year,
is what
yeah,
our
we have got
hospital
this
is for.
opportunity and we have accepted this challenge.
That's
and
quite
we're doing our
remarkable.
work.
What has been the biggest challenge for you in this time?
See, none of us ever imagined that we would be in the heart of a pandemic. It's only in our textbooks that we have read about it, right? The biggest challenge is that the inflow of the patient vis-a-vis the creation of the bed is what has been our biggest challenge on date, because patients are not waiting for your timelines.
Yeah.
Patients are following nature's timelines.
Right.
So they will come and we have to
And they expect to
create,
be...
yes, exactly. So the change of the whole structure, infrastructure and the commissioning of the beds has been a real challenge, but fortunately, the team together has done it. They
Hospital falling itself in the zone. We are located in such a zone that initially when this pandemic started, we were amidst the containment areas, the G South area draining to this hospital, the E ward, the D ward.
Right.
So basically when it started, we were the hospital.
Right in the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it.
This is something
with
that
all
actually
walking patients.
explain to viewers outside of Bombay that this G ward you mentioned, G South,
Worli.
Worli.
Where the first few patients were found was Worli.
Worli, I think Worli, Koli,
Yes,
then later in the
Koliwada.
Koliwada. So these are the amongst the biggest hotspots in Mumbai. I think continue to be besides Dharavi, and you all are right in the middle of it.
And
And
as a
E-ward also, this
pediatrician,
E-ward,
And E ward.
Nagpada and all this area, Bombay Central, Nagpada area.
So the
So these are
maximum
very
number of
heavy,
cases coming.
most heavy as far as the number is concerned.
two challenges. One is the commissioning of the wards and the patient inflow, and the second was evacuation of staff. Because we need them to be elsewhere so that the on-campus teams had place to stay.
Right.
Because the way we have our rotas, the
You have to
ones who are
rotate.
on, yes. So
That-
that was
so
a huge,
HR management is a very, very crucial part, because everywhere we will fall short of very able residents who can immediately manage a patient
We
in
have our own
emergency.
healthcare
Okay.
workers
And of
24/7.
course, our physicians from the medicine department have been working very, very hard to save each and every life.
I will tell you, the thing is the difference
What is-
between the other, because I work in many, you are asking me,
Have you ever seen anything like this?
yeah, so during 2005 July deluge, I worked continuously for 96 hours. The large number of patients that kept pouring in, and there are many other incidents also. Here the difference is, each doctor has to go in with a PPE. If you wear that PPE, you will realize you cannot, it's extremely difficult to work. You sweat a lot, you get dehydrated. Okay, so you cannot work. Previously, you used to work 96 hours. Now it is not possible to work for more than 6 hours.
6 hours.
So every 6 hours, you have to change the doctors, you have to change the nurses. So that is the biggest challenge.
And it's getting hot as well. So now
Extremely,
summer is getting
extremely
hot.
hot.
Are people even passing out? I mean, has there been cases of
We have
people?
really conditioned
Many
ourselves
doctors
to
have
get
collapsed,
people.
many nurses have collapsed also.
Doctors another collapse because of the heat.
But I would say we have
Because of the
conditioned ourselves very well to wearing a PP. We have adopted the right practices of donning and doffing a PP, which is one thing that will prevent the spread. And all our doctors are doing a great job at that now.
Is
We've
there-
had
Not only
training
our
videos.
doctors, it's our nursing staff,
Everybody.
our
Ancillary
classroom
staff,
workers,
all of them.
everybody.
is
It's
there-
a contribution of everyone.
I know that it's an occupational hazard when you're a doctor. There's an element of risk, but do you also feel some anxiety?
Not at all. Not
Come
at
on,
all.
be honest,
Most
really?
of us are
Yeah,
very,
it
very
is. It is
upfront.
always there. I have a daughter at home, a small child at home waiting for us. So the fear, to some extent, is always there.
How old
that
is
we've-
she?
She's 10 years old. So it is a little difficult for each and every one of us, because we know we have to go back to our families. We have old people at home, old family members. Some of us have small kids at home. So it is difficult, but even they have been understanding throughout this journey. It
And
is-
we have overcome
Yes.
these fears to a large extent, because we know there is no way out. We have to do this. Come what may, we have to save lives.
No,
So
for the
much-
staff
we
is fine. Do
totally-
you feel any fear
No,
personally?
I don't.
No.
Personally,
You-
not
do
at
you
all.
feel?
No, fortunately what has happened is, while we are seeing so many patients coming, we see more than 85% of them are
Getting
getting better. You're seeing that so many of them are mild to moderate. So it's the stigma now that is outliving the actual disease. We will get it,
I
but
mean,
it's
we
okay.
don't think that becoming
Okay,
COVID
that's
is-
important. Do you feel you're perhaps the most experienced? Do you feel any fear at all?
See, because we are seeing now, if you see the change from April to May, if you see the change is now we are getting most of the patients are very serious patients.
Right.
They're extremely breathless, tachypneic. Almost all of them are requiring oxygen, if not ventilator.
That's the kind of
cutest
wonderful.
part
That's
of
the wonderful
Mother
story.
Nature.
But the other thing that I was asking Dean as well, that there's the other side to it of people who are not even picking up their bodies of their loved ones.
Yes,
Because
yes.
of that. How
That
serious?
stigma, that stigma is very bad. That
are
stigma,
blessed in
that somebody is COVID, because immediately your building will get sealed. Okay, the municipal people, police will come, will seal your building. So that's a big stigma.
But this is someone who's a relative of yours or a thing, and they still have the stigma.
Not all,
I
but
must
there
say
are some
now
cases.
we are
Some cases,
managing
not
dead bodies
universal.
under the guidance of Dr. Shailesh Moite, who's a forensic expert, and he has actually come down to teaching our healthcare workers and servants how to wrap a body, how we will take care when we don't have the swab report, yet how will we manage giving the death certificate, and also the counseling of the relatives.
How do you, in case a relative doesn't pick up a body, how do you dispose of it? What's the procedure for that?
Generally, we have this is a routine thing. Whenever there is a death of a COVID patient, we first-hand information is given to the MOH, that is the medical officer of health of that ward, and also to the senior PI of the concerned police station. And then the coordination is established because they are having the address details, everything of the patient. So they establish the contact with the relatives. The relatives are informed. The police is informed. We have a police vehicle along with the body, which is taken to the crematorium for the final rites. So a beautiful chain is established so as to avoid inconvenience in any sort.
But even if the relative doesn't claim, then they will, the hospital or the village will dispose of the body.
Yes, a dignified death is given to every individual.
Right.
And thanks
That's
to
very
the
important.
government.
When you saw those videos from Sion and elsewhere of dead bodies being kept with patients and all of that, and then everyone said, "Oh my God, this is what's happening in Bombay hospitals." At that time, we were in Delhi. We saw it. We all were
Few
shocked.
times
Yeah,
before
that
you
I want to
asked
say,
us
What
This is very common. See, patient, so many deaths. See, who comes here? All very poor people and who are in the last stages. Okay, so deaths are going to happen in medicine wards. We cannot stop like any other hospital. We cannot stop. That number of beds are full.
Right.
So we have large number of patients. We have patients under the bed also. We have the floor beds also. We cannot say no to any patient. Of course, this is before it was declared COVID. So patient used to die. And when the patient dies, 2 hours you have to keep the body on this thing. But we used to put a curtain. Previously we used to put the curtain around it. But people, the way it was projected by the media, there's a gross negligence and what is this happening and all these things. It's, so that's why people got something
need
else.
some literacy about this.
Literacy about it.
Have you slept? How many hours have you slept in the past few days?
When we started work, I think, we hardly sleep, to put it right.
How many hours have you
We
slept?
try to catch
I
up with 4
don't
to 5
remember
hours of
sleeping for 1 or 2 hours at a stretch since last 2 months. It's like
Same here?
Yeah.
No, you can't even, you're just shaking your head. So body bags again must be a problem.
We had prepared videos and transportation also for them. So the buses would come.
So these are the staff of the Nair hospital. They finished their shifts. They're now about to go home in batches. Transport is being organized for them by the hospital. They've done a hard day shift and now they're about to go home. So we are outside the mortuary of Nair Hospital, where the dead are brought before their final journey. And Dr. Shailesh Mohite is here with Mariam and me. He is the head of the forensic medicine. And in a way, Dr. Mohite, this is the most crucial and difficult job.
Yeah.
That once the person dies of COVID,
Yes.
even then the risk is not over.
Yeah.
What is that? So that is a big challenge.
Yeah, this is a huge challenge whereby even our servants, everyone is petrified as to one would get that disease. But we have taken steps to educate them how to protect themselves, how to use PPEs and how to do the job in a scientific manner. While getting the bodies from the wards also, we don't get it in open. You can see one stretcher over there, how it is covered and the body is kept inside.
Okay, body is brought in that covered stretcher.
Yeah, covered. So it is not exposed to people also.
Okay.
Otherwise, people while bringing from the wards also would be petrified that a body is going.
Even after the patient dies,
Yeah.
how much longer is he or she still able to be infected?
See, the material is infective, but a dead body is less infective because not like a living individual that it is breathing, sneezing, etc. or it is touching somewhere. So once I put the body in the body bag and decontaminated it from outside, it is like any other material which you put it in a bag, wrap it, and it is the
And then you
material
bring
is
it.
inside. Yeah,
In terms of the deaths now,
yeah.
how many deaths a day on an average now?
On an average, presently around 10 deaths are occurring.
10 deaths a day, which you were
Okay.
saying is now it has gone up
Yeah,
from
as
earlier.
the number of beds have increased, therefore the number of deaths have gone. But if you see percentage wise, it is only 1 to 1.5%, about 1.5%.
And how many people do you have during each shift to handle the
Yeah,
bodies?
exclusively for the purpose of packing bodies, we have 4 servants in every shift.
Okay.
Apart from our
Servants are the name given to the people who do the wrapping.
yeah, okay.
Right.
They are exclusively. In fact, government has also started now, announced rather, incentive of 1,000 rupees, 500 per person for packing these bodies.
We are outside Nair Hospital's mortuary. This is one of the most sensitive parts of any hospital during the COVID pandemic, where the bodies of those who die of COVID are brought in. For those who work here, it is particularly fraught with risk. They are really the invisible warriors, frontline heroes of this battle. हमारे में I am joined by these two workers. आप अपना नाम बताएंगे?
मेरा नाम एशोप संदेवाल।
संतोष अर्जुन महापारले।
अच्छा, तो आप यहाँ मोर्चुरी में काम कर रहे हैं और अभी जब से ये कोविड का स्टार्ट हुआ है तो जो कोविड में डेथ होते हैं उनका बॉडी आप ही पैकिंग करते हैं? अच्छा, कैसा करते हैं पैकिंग
इस तरीके से करता है कि जैसे स्टाफ लोग ने पहले से बताया गया है कि जो बेडशीट होता है बॉडी का वो आईपो में भिगा कर उसको निचोड़ कर तो उससे पैकिंग किया जाता है।
अच्छा।
तो स्टार्टिंग जब कोविड का चालू हुआ तो प्लास्टिक दिया गया था, तो बॉडी के ऊपर फिर एक कार्ड आता है जो बेडशीट को बांध के, कार्ड पहले अंदर रखते हैं फिर उसके बाद वो प्लास्टिक बांधते हैं, प्लास्टिक के बाद दूसरा वो कार्ड उसको आईपो से बांधते हैं।
अच्छा।
लेकिन बांधते समय उधर कुछ भी इशू करने जाते हो तो मिलता नहीं है।
अच्छा,
कुछ भी सामान मिलता नहीं है। वार्ड में अगर जाता हो तो मांगने जाओ तो चिढ़ते हैं हम लोग के ऊपर।
अच्छा,
हाँ।
क्या बोलते हैं?
कुछ भी बोलते, ढूंढो देखो उधर मिलेगा, या हमारा काम है क्या तुम्हारा क्या, सब एक दूसरे के ऊपर कुछ ना कुछ ये करते रहे। तो हमारा फिलहाल खाली काम क्या बोला गया, बॉडी बांधने का, बॉडी लेके आने का, तो दूसरा काम भी हमारे को जबरदस्ती देते हैं।
अच्छा, वो तो खैर गलत है।
हाँ।
लेकिन इस बार जैसे आप ये बॉडी बांधते हैं तो क्या ध्यान में रखना पड़ता है, क्योंकि कोविड का तो बड़ा खतरा है, तो कैसा आप उसको ध्यान से करते हैं?
ध्यान से बोला तो खाली बस हम लोग को बताया गया कि इससे खाली जब किट वगैरह
आप पूरा सेफ्टी किट पहनते हैं?
किट वगैरह जो अंदर का ओटी का कपड़ा है, ये टोपी है
जी,
ग्लोव्स डबल है, मास्क 95 का है, ये सब टोटली दिया गया है।
अच्छा।
तो हम लोग सेफ्टी से एकदम करके उसको बॉडी बांधते हैं।
बॉडी बांध के
हाँ।
फिर आप यहाँ मोर्चुरी में ले आते हैं?
आप कितने साल से कर रहे हैं ये? यहाँ पे कितने साल से काम कर रहे हैं?
मेरा 10 साल हो गया, ये जून है मेरे से।
इससे पहले कभी ये सब पहनना पड़ा, ये सब
नहीं, ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ। जब से कोविड चालू हुआ है तब से ये सिस्टम चालू हुआ।
डर नहीं लगता?
नहीं।
आपको थोड़ा भी टेंशन, डर नहीं लगा इस पूरे टाइम? नहीं। कोविड इतना खतरनाक बीमारी है। अच्छा, तो आप बिना उसको डर के कर रहे हैं?
क्या करने वाले, काम तो है, करना तो पड़ेगा ना।
सही बात है।
एक तो ऐसे काम पे नहीं आएगा तो उसके ऊपर इशू चल रहा है।
नहीं, ये बात भी है कि अभी सरकार ने जो आप जैसे लोग जो काम कर रहे हैं उनका पगार बढ़ाया है 1000 रुपये, मतलब 500 थोड़ा साहस देने के लिए, उसके बारे में क्या कहेंगे आप?
अभी तक तो उसके बारे में कुछ डिटेल हमको भी नहीं पता है, ना ही किसी ने हम लोगों को डिटेल बताया है। खाली इतना अफवाह फैल गया है कि बॉडी बांधने पे 500 रुपया मिल रहा है।
अच्छा।
2 जन रहेंगे तो 1000 रुपये, लेकिन उसके बारे में हम लोग को कुछ डिटेल अभी तक कुछ भी नहीं बताया है।
अच्छा।
कैसे तरीके से दिया जाएगा, कैसे तरीके से किसको दिया जाएगा। अभी 3 शिफ्ट में चारों सब लोग होते हैं। अभी उधर कैसा, अभी बांध के फोन आ रहे हैं, अभी खाली लेके आने का काम। इतना दिन उधर कोई बांधा नहीं जाता था, जब पैसा नहीं था तो कोई बांधा नहीं जा रहा था।
अच्छा।
उधर से फोन आता था बॉडी बांधने के लिए आ जाओ करके।
अच्छा।
अभी तो बांध के उधर रेडी भी रख देते वो लोग।
अच्छा।
हाँ, अभी वो सिस्टम भी नहीं पता चल रहा है हमको कि क्या है वो। खाली इधर अफवाह फैला गया कि बॉडी बांधेगा उनको पैसा दिया जाएगा।
अभी तक मिला
इसीलिए
नहीं है।
नहीं, अभी वो कुछ पता ही नहीं है, लेकिन हमारे सामने लोग बोला पता नहीं है। जब
चलिए।
इशू होएगा सब बताएंगे ये लोग को।
आ जाएगा धीरे धीरे, सरकार भी टाइम लगता है लेकिन आएगा। तो जब बॉडी बांधने के बाद आप इसको इस स्ट्रेचर में, ये खास स्ट्रेचर इसके लिए बनाया गया है, इसमें लेके आते हैं?
हाँ,
अच्छा।
इसके अंदर बॉडी डाल के लेके आते हैं हम लोग।
अच्छा, ये पूरा कवर कर दिया गया
हाँ,
स्ट्रेचर
cover किया
को,
हुआ है।
इसको पूरी तरह से कवर किया है। आपके जैसे घर वाले हैं वो अभी क्या कैसे समझ रहे हैं सब? आप इतना
मैं तो 3 महीने से अभी तक खाली 4 ही बार घर पे गया हूँ।
अच्छा, 3 महीने से 4 ही बार घर गए?
मैं इधर नायर में रहता हूँ।
अच्छा, नायर में रहते हैं?
ये काम से मैं इधर ही हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं लग रहा है कि ऐसा तो डर तो नहीं है मेरे पास। मैं 3-4 बार तो जाके आया,
राइट।
लेकिन क्या लग रहा है कि कभी कुछ इनकेस हो जाए तो फिर नहीं डर लगता है बोल के मैं नहीं जाता हूँ।
अच्छा, घर किधर है आपका?
बोरोली।
बोरीवली में। घर पे कौन कौन है?
मेरा लड़का है, वाइफ है,
अच्छा।
मेरी सास है, 3 जन।
So we are at the entrance of Nair Hospital, the fully dedicated COVID hospital. Dr. Surbi is with me. Dr. Surbi, right here at the entrance, you created a way for people to be tested.
Screened. No,
A booth.
this basically is a corona screening, special screening OPD.
Yes.
So what we did way back before we became a dedicated hospital, we started screening patients, whatever the symptoms they came that fit into corona.
Okay.
All
so
these
this is
reports
happening
come
right.
online, yes.
And these are, who is this? This is a.
She is a resident doctor
so
filling
the
the ICMR form.
camera can go around that way. Then you
It
can
can
actually
come
show
this
him.
way also.
If you go around that way, you can see it going in from the other. Okay, doesn't matter. No, don't go close. That's fine.
This is the very first point of contact of a corona patient, whether a suspect or positive, when he comes into our hospital.
Right, and
It
these
is from
are.
here that we divert them.
Okay. Now that lady is washing her hands.
She is,
She is sterilizing her hands in that.
and she'll remove her hand from the glove.
She'll remove her hand
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
glove even before she takes it out of that.
This is an AC cabin,
Right. So she's not getting hot inside that.
and there is one more resident doctor inside. If you will see, he fills the ICMR form. It's a very informative form, and every information has to go in that form.
Okay.
And now we are starting another activity.
Family's getting sanitized.
So the family there, now they're getting sanitized after the test is done. Okay, so this is as real as it gets. You can see it all happening.
Absolutely.
The raw reality of what it is like to be at the front line of the COVID battle in Mumbai.